Jews, the true Hebrews, ones that the Most High said would wake up in the last days, call us back to our heritage, the ones that he said he would pour his spirit upon, and we receive his instruction. As usual, we're going to go through the portion. The portion for this Shabbat is Deuteronomy 21 and 10 to Deuteronomy 26 or 13 or 19, 26, 19. That's Deuteronomy 21 and 10 to Deuteronomy 26 verse 19. All right, it's a good portion, a lot of information going to come out. So let's get Colossians 3 verse 17. Let's get right into it. All praises.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him.
Right, everything we do in word or deed, we do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, who reign and ruleth forever, our King, our instructor, our head. So let's get out Deuteronomy 21, verse 10.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thy enemies, and the Most High thy power has delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive.
Right, so when thou hast gone forth to war against thine enemies, okay, so there's a time period that we went to war against our enemies. All right, we rose up. Right now, who remembers last portion? We were traveling through these different enemies' land. Matter of fact, who's our enemies? Who's our enemies? Who's the enemies of Israel? Say the nations? Right? That's a good answer, but can I get scripture? Who's the enemies of Israel? Could I?
Psalms 83.
Say it louder.
Psalms 83.
Psalms 83. They that hate thee and look at their enemies. I need the word enemies. That's good though. Psalms 83. But you need enemies. Who's our enemies? While you're thinking about that, give me Psalms 83. Let's just start with that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silent, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo thy enemies make a trouble, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So now these are the enemies of the Most High. They that hate the Heavenly Father. Right? They lifted up their head. Who they come against? You know?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And has consulted against thy hidden ones.
So the enemies of the Most High will come against the children of the Heavenly Father. Come against the children of Israel. Read on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. But they have consulted together with one consent.
Right.
They are confederate against thee.
Right, they're confederate. They come together just to come against you. That's what a confederate is. When people come together, make a federation against one purpose. Okay. And you say they call it what, a Confederate flag in America? That's a bunch of states that came together with one purpose to keep you Negroes in captivity. That's what they was a Confederate about. They might have been different states, had different understandings, different rules, and different ways of life and things of that sort. But one thing they were Confederate about was that they wanted to keep the so-called Negroes in captivity, to keep the Jews oppressed. So that they came together under that banner. Okay. A lot of people don't know what the Confederacy was about. The Confederacy was that they didn't want slavery to be abolished. They wanted to keep the people into captivity. Okay, that's one thing that Texas, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, they agreed on that. They might have disagreed on other things, but they agreed that listen, these slaves got to stay in captivity. So that's why they formed the Confederacy, always starting from I think Virginia on down. Right, starting from Virginia on down was the Confederacy states. Okay, read.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Right there, what?
Confederate against thee.
Read on.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
So who's the tabernacles of Edom? Today, what would it be called today? Caucasian, European, right? The so-called white man. Right? The Ishmaelites, who are they today? The Arab, the corner store, the gas station, right? Right? Your neighbors, right? Read on.
Of Moab.
Moab, right? The Chinese food store. Right? Read on.
And the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes, now we're dealing with the North Africans. Right? Read on.
Gebal.
Uh-huh.
And Ammon.
Ammon, they deal with Japanese. What is that? Your cell phone creator company. Right? Whatever technology people, right? And you dealing with read on.
And Amalek.
And Amalek. Right? Come on.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them.
So basically, Most High just naming all these nations around about us. They are your enemies. Why are they our enemies? Because they seek to sit in our position. The Most High created all the nations on the earth, but he put them in different positions. He chose Israel to be what? What position is Israel supposed to be when it comes to the other nations? Above, right? We're not saying that. The Most High said that. But all of these nations try to what? Tear us down. They don't want us to be above. That's why they become your enemy. As long as you're not above them, you're okay with them, right? Yeah, we know.
Verse 12. Who said, let us take to ourselves the house of the Most High in possession.
Let us take the house of the Most High in possession. Okay. They want the position that the Most High has given Israel. They want that position. So as long as you're not battling for that position, they're good with you. That's why we can all get along now, because most of our people, they're not trying to be ahead of anybody. We tell our people that you're supposed to be above all nations. They go, no, we're all the same. Right? They don't want that. So right now, they're not our enemies are not what? They're not in a position to what? To want to, they don't feel threatened. Because we're not aspiring to be who the Most High created us to be. But as we come back to this word, then we become a threat. Because then we start saying, wait a minute, we're supposed to be above all y'all nations. Then they say, oh, well, you racist then. Right? Because now you're being an enemy to them. But they've been your enemy because they've been comfortable with you being a slave. Right? They taught you that you're no better. In fact, they taught you that you should be happy with what you have. Okay? So that's a mental warfare that's going on. Give me 1 Samuel 14:47. 1 Samuel 14, verse 47.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 47.
Read.
So Saul took the kingdom over Israel.
Right.
And fought against all his enemies.
All his what?
All his enemies.
So he fought against all the enemies of Israel. Read on.
On every side.
On every side, there was enemies of Israel. Read on.
Against Moab.
Moab.
And against the children of Ammon.
Come on.
And against Edom.
Come on.
And against the kings of Zobah.
Come on.
And fought against the Philistines.
Right.
And whatsoever he turned himself, he vexed them.
That's right. Mean that what he beat them up. Okay, he vexed them. Saul took and went out against all our enemies. Okay. All the enemies of Israel. Why? Because we was establishing ourselves as who the Most High created us to be. Okay. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. So it's wartime. We're reading about.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Most High thy power has delivered them into thine hands.
So what does that mean that the Most High delivered them into our hands? What does that mean? You can't skip over anything that we read it. What does it mean, guys? Brought them down, right? Right? He delivered them in our hands. Meaning that what? We went to war against them and we beat them. He delivered them into our hands. Meaning that when we put our hands on them, they fell under our hands. All right? They were delivered to our hands. Read on.
And thou hast taken them captive.
Right?
Verse 11.
So what did we do? When they fell in our hands, we took them what? Captive. Meaning that what? We took over their nation. Right? We now rule over their nations. Okay? We took over their lands. We took over their nations. We took over their governments. We now rule over them. Right? So now they are prisoners of war. Okay? Just like the so-called our brothers, the Gadites, the Reubenites, right, that live in this land, they're prisoners of war. Everybody understand that? They fought and lost, right or wrong. Right? Esau always talking about, remember the Alamo, right? That's our brothers, Yashakar, stood up for themselves. They lost. So right now, the Mexicans in Mexico, they are prisoners of war. Everybody understand this? We are prisoners of war. We are here because we lost the battle. Had we won the battle, we would not be here speaking English. Okay? We'd be speaking Hebrew. Everybody understand that? So we're prisoners of war. But when we read in the scriptures right now, we read of us being the victors. And these nations are the prisoners of war. Right? Read on.
Verse 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
See among the captives a what?
A beautiful woman.
So we see amongst the captives a beautiful woman. Meaning that one of the women of these nations that we conquered. And he saw favor in this woman. Okay, read on.
And has a desire unto her that thou wouldest have her to thy wife.
Not only did he say he's a beautiful woman, but he said, you know what? I would take this woman to be my wife. Okay? This thought came to the man's mind. Right? One of the men of war. Okay? Because, you know, it's not, sometimes people get dismayed because they see an attractive woman that's not of the nation of Israel. There are attractive women that are not of the nation of Israel. Not because a woman looks attractive mean that, oh, you want to make her out to be an Israelite. That don't make her an Israelite. Everybody understand this? Sometimes you might even well, some of our sisters might see a man attractive, right? But he might not be an Israelite. Not because somebody's attractive mean that you gotta have him, right or wrong. Right? Hold that and give me your Proverbs. The most I said about the seed. But you know, I heard the
6:36.
I'm thinking 5 and 3. 6:24?
6:25.
25. Okay.
We're looking for something else.
Soft as oil?
5 is it?
Yeah, 5 and 3.
5 is good, yeah.
Yeah, 5 and 3.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb,
Right?
and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Right. So what? The strange woman can what coerce you, can entice you. You gotta be mindful of that. Okay? Don't make it make her out to be an Israelite because she enticed you. Right? Call it what it is. Right? You said read that verse again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For the lips of a strange woman drop as in honeycomb,
Come on.
and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Read on.
But her end,
But her what?
her end,
But her end, if you go there, read on,
is bitter as wormwood.
is bitter as wormwood. Okay? So you can be enticed. When you go there, you'll be in trouble. Okay? Read on.
Sharp as a two-edged sword.
Read on.
Her feet go down to death.
They go down to where?
To death.
They go down to death. Read on.
Her steps take hold on hell.
Take hold on where?
On hell.
So it's very clear here that what? You can be enticed, but if you go there, you put yourself in jeopardy. Everybody understand that? Okay. So now because somebody enticing me that you're gonna what? Just go there. Okay. Let's go back. That's instruction given to us by the Most High. But now we're reading about wartime. So let's see what happened during wartime. Read.
Verse 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman,
Right?
and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife.
Come on.
Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house,
Bring her home to your house.
and she shall shave her head,
Right?
and part her nails.
Right. So we had a custom that for these type of situations. The woman would have to shave her head, all the hair off her head, and she would have to par her nails. What does that mean to par her nails? Cut her nails off. That's all. And cut her nails off. Cut her nails off, shave her head, read on.
And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her.
What does that mean, the raiment of her captivity?
Change your clothing.
What was significant about the clothes that she had on?
Because they were of her culture.
Exactly. Exactly. She can no longer be in her culture. She had to take those captive raiments off. Right? If she was Elam, she'd be dressed in what Elam wear? They wear a sari, they call it, I believe, a wrap thing they put on. She would have to take that off, shave her head, cut her nails, and put on what? If she's taking that off, what she got to put on? What she got to put on? Huh? That's right, Hebrew attire, right? Because you bring her into your house. So she will have to what? Convert onto what? Following the Lord's statutes and commandments of the Most High. She would have to be what is called a sojourner. That doesn't make her an Israelite. All right? Keep that clear. She's still a heathen woman. Right? But she would have to keep the customs of Israel. She could no longer live in the customs of her people. Okay? Read on.
And shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
That's right. She had to stay in your house and bewail her father and her mother a full month. I mean, what? She got no contact with her family. Right? This was the law to deal with this type of situation. Why? What would contact with the family do? What would that do? Why would she have to separate from the family? Why did she got to go off, change her clothes, cut her hair off, put her nails? What is the Most High trying to do to this woman? Persuade her to keep her customs. Remind her of her people. What the Most High doing is trying to cleanse her from her way. Cleanse her from everything that was her custom. That's why her hair got to be cut. Why? Because they might have been products that she was ingesting or things that she was putting on her body that it stays in your hair. Even today they'll do a drug test by taking your hair, right? Because your hair holds what you've been doing for the last for months. It's in your hair. So he had to take the hair off. Not to say she couldn't grow her hair back, but now she got to grow her hair back with a what? Now that she has on a lawful diet, she's dealing with lawful products on her body and things of that sort. She's not dealing with whatever the heathens be dealing with anymore. Unclean foods that she was ingesting, she can't ingest that anymore, right? So she has to be cleansed. It's a cleansing process that's happening to her, right? Even in your nails hold what you've been doing. So that's why you gotta cut your nails. So all that foods that are unclean foods, you gotta be purged out from her way, her customs. Read on.
And after that, thou shalt go in unto her.
Now, after she has completed her purging, then you are able to take her away. Okay, read on.
And be her husband.
Right.
And she shall be thy wife.
Right.
And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her grow whither she will.
Right.
But thou shalt not sell her at all for money.
Right.
Thou shalt not make merchandise of her.
Right.
Because thou hast humbled her.
Because thou hast what?
Humbled her.
What does it mean that you've humbled her? That's right. It means you slept with her. Okay. Because you have humbled her, you can't then determine, oh, now I'm a seller now. You can't be a pimp, in other words. Right? You can't pimp the woman. If you fell for the woman, but she was not an Israelite woman, and you want to keep her, these are the processes that she had to go through. If you see that it's not working, because she's not an Israelite woman, you let her go. Right? Could you let go of your Israelite woman if there's a problem? No. Right? If you marry an Israelite woman, give me Romans 7 and 1.
But from us separated from them,
The man separated from the woman. What you say, if you find that something you don't like about her, he can let her go. Because she's a heathen woman. She's not an Israelite woman. She's a servant woman. Okay? She's not of the children of Israel. Okay? Read that.
can't do fornication, right?
The woman's bond to her husband.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 2. For the woman which has a husband is bound by the law to her husband,
Right?
so long as he liveth.
Right?
But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband.
So marriage is only really annulled by death. Now, can a husband divorce the wife? Yeah, but if he divorced, it had to be only for one reason. What's the reason? Fornication. Fornication. So if you marry an Israelite woman, you can only separate or divorce through fornication. Give me that real quick too. Give me Matthew 19.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery.
Right, you would be considered adulterer to put away your wife unless she committed fornication. Everybody understand that? But if the wife was a heathen, could you put her away? Right, you can let her go. You can let her go. You're not bound to a heathen woman. Everybody understand that? Right, this is according to the law. You're not bound to the heathen woman. Right? You can't sell her though, like she was one of your servants. If she was your servant and you never laid with her, right? Then when you no longer want her to serve you, you can sell her to somebody else because she's a servant woman. Okay? Everybody understand this? Let's proof on that. Let's get proof on that. Give me Leviticus 25 and 46. Leviticus 25, 46.
book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you.
45?
Yeah.
Verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you,
Right.
of them shall ye buy.
Of them shall ye what?
Shall ye buy.
Right. Of them shall ye buy. So when we had servants, right, you would buy and sell the servants. A lot of us don't realize we're bought and sold now. I mean, everybody here got a job, right? What do you work your job to do? You get what? You get what? Money, right? What do you do with the money? You go get the things that you need, right? It's just situated differently, but we are servants now. We work day in, day out for money, right? We go from one job, we go to the other job, right? If this department wants you, they move to the other department. So now you're in this department, right? Sometimes whether you like it or not, if you don't like it, you can leave, right? So what? It's about money. We read about servants and owning servants, and a lot of us think, oh, well, this is not crazy. This is how we live it today. Right now, we're servants. Everybody that works for a company, you are a servant to that company. Don't fool yourself, right? Right? Because you need what they're giving you. What are they giving you? The ability for you to what? Survive. We used to have the ability to survive self-sufficient. We used to build our homes, grow our food. You understand what I'm saying? If you build your home and you grow your food, you're not sufficient on anybody, right? You just talk, you answer to the Most High. You hoping it rain in due season so that your crops will come up. You praying that no disease come amongst your cattle because your cattle got to grow and got to flourish. The Most High is who's feeding you. But if you work for a company, they're the ones who's feeding you. They are your slave master. Whether you like it, accept it or not. Now you can decide to say, you know what, I don't like this slave master. And get an application to go find a new slave master. Right? That's what we have to do. We fool ourselves and we think anything else is happening. Right? You can be an uneducated slave, an educated slave. Right? You can make high slave wages, you can make low slave wages. Right? But you still, at the end of the day, captive. What's the bar? The bars might not be somebody restraining you physically, but what you're being restrained by is those bills, right? Because if you don't pay your bills, you don't have no money, you're not going to eat. If you're not going to eat, if you have no place to rest your head, if you don't pay your rent, right? So you got to understand, we are in the same conditions that we read about. It's just worded a different way. It's just situated a different way, okay? What does that say? Oh, substitute payments. All right. We won't go there yet, but I get where you're going with that. Right? We're just making a comparison of servants and of your condition of life here in America right now. It is not that different. Okay? We're all held in captives. Right? Sometimes you don't want to go to work, but guess what? You don't got no more days. So you got to get up and you got to go. Right? You may not want to go. Right? I don't want to go. Oh, you got like that. I used 10 days last year. I ain't got no days. I got to go. Right? You could stay home, but you might lose your job. Then those bars start to close in on you called bills. Right? It's the same thing. Right? Same thing. So read that again. Tell them where you at.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 45.
Come on.
Moreover, of the children of the strangers that will sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land.
Right.
And they shall be your possession.
They shall be what?
Your possession.
Read on.
And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you.
What do you do with inheritance? You what? Pass it on to your generations to come. All right? What do these companies do today? Right? How do they determine the next owner of the company? Usually, if their sons ain't gone crazy, it'll be one of their sons. Usually their sons are so whacked out their mind they can't even give it to their son, right? But if their son is in the business, he for sure is going to get the business. When he gets the business, and what? All the employees become his employees, right? So he gets all the servants. Same thing. We are just so used to being on the bottom of this, we don't know what it feels like to be on the top of it. Okay? These nations are on the top of this condition here. So they understand these laws. They understand why they set up a business and why they got paperwork to own their business so they can sell their business. When they sell the business and all the employees that work for the business. Okay? They keep it running. It's the same scenario. All right? Read.
To inherit them for a possession. They shall be a bondman forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel,
right?
You shall not rule one over another with rigor.
Right. We cannot treat fellow Israelites this way. Why? Because we weren't made to be self-sufficient, or we were made to serve the Most High Yah. He's the one that feeds us. He's the one that clothes us. That's what we were set up to do. That's why he gave us land. Most High gave us land so what? We would build houses and grow crops and have cattle. This way, we don't have to go to the other nations to get food and raiment and shelter. You know what I'm saying? When you have to go to another nation to get food, raiment, and shelter, you are in captivity. Is it clear? All right? I hope it's clear. All right? Don't think nothing different. All right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy. So now when it came to this man finding favor with this heathen woman, he had to follow these laws. He had to shave her head, cut her nails, separate her from her family for at least a month, right? She had to take off the raiment of her captivity. That means she had to do away with her culture and put on Hebrew attire. She had to live like a Hebrew Israelite for at least a month before you could go in onto this woman and take the woman to marriage. But if you go in onto her, take her to marriage, and you decide later on that, you know what, this ain't working out, you can let her go. You're not bound to her like you're bound to a Hebrew woman. Okay? Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated.
So now there's another law. If a man has two wives, one beloved, another one hated. Okay? One is favored, one is not favored. Okay, read on.
And if the first son be hers that was hated,
right,
then it should be when he makes his son to inherit that which he hath,
right,
that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated.
Right. So what? He can't change the Most High's law. According to the law of the Most High, the firstborn gets the inheritance, huh? Okay. There's a couple of instances in the scripture where the Most High can intervene, right? Like he did with Esau and Jacob. Okay. Like he did with Manasseh and Ephraim. All right. He made Ephraim the head, but Manasseh was born first. Okay. Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael was born first. Right? A little different with Ishmael and Isaac because Ishmael was born to the heathen woman. Right? So he was able to what? Send her away without sin. Okay? Because she was a heathen woman. You can send a heathen woman away. You cannot send an Israelite woman away. You understand that? All right. Read.
Verse 17. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn.
Right.
By giving him a double portion of all that he hath.
Right.
For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
The right of the firstborn is his. So not because, he favors the second wife more than the first wife, that he can say, what? Okay, I'm going to start giving everything. because I like this wife better. Right? Did not Jacob favor Rachel? Right? But Leah had all of her children. Right? She was killing it with the children way before Rachel. She only had 2. Right? How many children Leah had? Let's see who remembers. That could be a Jeopardy question. How many children Leah had? Who remembers? Huh? Y'all dwell on that. Somebody can give you the answer. I know that was even on the text, right? You sure about that answer? Because you set it up solidly. You know what I mean? You ain't speaking. You sure about that answer? See, you're not sure. If not 4 or 5, that ain't no answer. No kidding. 6, that's the answer. All right, come on.
Verse 18.
4 or 5.
If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father,
that would not what?
Obey the voice of his father,
Come on.
Or the voice of his mother,
right?
And that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them.
Come on.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him,
come on,
and bring him out unto the elders of the city,
come on,
and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious.
Right.
He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and drunkard.
He's a what?
A glutton and drunkard.
What is that talking about? What is he doing? What's this son doing? Right, in the house eating up everything. Right, getting high, getting drunk. That sounds like a lot of children out here. Right? Won't hear the parents, won't listen. Okay. This child is out of control. We deal with it all the time in this kingdom. They end up what? Police end up getting them. They end up in the truancy. They end up in what's it called? That family court, right? Juvenile detention center. Yeah. But they will not hear the parent. They will not hear. They will not be instructed. Right? They want to go the way of Satan. They just want to be wicked. Right? Read on.
Verse 21. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones.
Right, but hold on. Back a little bit. Sorry.
Verse 20?
Yeah, read that last verse.
Verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of the city.
They shall say unto who?
Unto the elders of his city.
That's a very important point right there. They shall say unto the elders of the city. What is the job of the elders of the city? What do we read? What do we go over? What job do the elders of the cities have to do? Huh? Those of you that have been coming to class. Get Deuteronomy 1 and 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribes,
right,
wise men,
right,
and known,
come on,
and made them heads over you,
come on,
captains over thousands, captains over hundreds, and captains over fifties, captains over tens, and officers among your tribes.
Come on.
And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect persons in judgment. Come on. But you shall hear the small as well as the great. Come on. You shall not be afraid of the face of man.
Right.
For the judgment is the Most High.
It's whose?
Is the Most High.
Read on.
And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it.
Read.
And I commanded you at that time that all the things which ye shall do.
Right. So this is what the elders at the gate was charged to do. That means we judge our own matters. The elders are supposed to judge situations that go on amongst the people. Okay? Now we go to a judge in this society that has no idea who we are, what happened, right? You go to these judges are corrupt, take bribes, payoffs, right? Depending on what level of lawyer you can afford is whether you're going to go to jail or not, right? If you can afford that law firm that contributes to the judge fund very well every year, chances are you're going to get off, okay? But if you go get a public defender, we went over that before, right? Right? The public defender, he ain't defending you. His job is to get you locked up, right? Now, he might tell you, I'll give you less time, but his job is to get you convicted, okay? That's his job, right? That's his occupation, to convict you, right? So he tell you what, plea out, get a lesser charge. That's what they all tell you. Forget about if you're innocent or not, that's beside the point. Just take a plea. Because he's looking to get you what? Convicted. Okay? But we have a righteous governmental setup where our judges were wise men. They sat at the gate of the city, meaning that they sat at the openings, right? That's where the downtown area, the city hall area is usually at the opening of the city. Okay, so you come downtown, you come into the town, you first pass on what? The law buildings, so the gate, the elders, where they at, right? And that's where you are first, if there's an issue, you end up back up there. Okay. And it would hear the issue, and it would judge righteous judgment. So this young man, they didn't just bring him to the elders and the elders stone him off the word of the parents. Okay, this thing was tried out. They brought him, told him what he's been doing, right? They made inquisition, right? They determined the situation, right? They might even try rehabilitation, right? These things didn't work. So what's the end result? This brother got to be put to death. He will not get reformed. He will not get corrected. Okay? He will not take correction. Remember, the Most High is about correction. But you got to take correction. If you keep going and getting correction, but you're not taking it, then what? You're going to be destroyed. Okay? You're going to be destroyed. So this is the case of this young man. Okay? He's brought forth to the gate of the city. He wouldn't take correction. Therefore, he had to be destroyed. Go back to Deuteronomy 20.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and drunkard. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones,
right,
that he die. So shalt thou put away evil from among you.
So now, what do you think all the other little children that was acted up or thinking to act up saw that happen? What do you think they did? They quickly repented of their ways and said, I don't want to end up like that guy. Okay?
This is the real scare straight.
That's right.
Back in the days, to take you to the jail and say, if you act up, you're going to be here with the rest of the criminals. But this is the real scare straight,
You know Proverbs 15:10. Proverbs 15:10, yeah. That's where they get that idea from, scared straight. Take you to tell you what's going to happen to you if you continue this path. Right? But this one is even better. This one is like, this is right to the point. Man. There's a pot of stones where you're going to be if you keep going that way. That'll change your mind. All right, read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way.
Right. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way. Meaning that they don't want to do the Most High's will. So you coming to correct them, it's just bothering them. They say, why are you bothering me? I like what I'm doing. He wanted to be a drunkard and a gluttonous. Right? Read on.
And he that hateth reproof shall die.
Shall what?
Shall die.
That's clear, man. He that hateth reproof shall die. All right, Proverbs 23 and 13. He that hateth reproof shall die. So we go out there to reprove our people and teach them the wrong of their ways because we're trying to give them life. Because in their sin is going to take them down the path of destruction anyway. Read that. 23:13.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 13.
Come on.
Withhold not correction from the child.
Right?
For if thou beatest him,
If thou what?
beatest him,
If thou beatest him. Now, you don't really use that word beatest nowadays. Right? Right? We have other colorful words to use. But they need to get a whooping. Right? They need to get it. Because if they don't get it, they don't get the correction that comes from it. And if they don't get the correction from it, what did we just read? He don't eat that. If you don't take correction, you're going to what? Die. You're going to die. Read on. Read that verse again. 20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child. For if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
Right?
Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shall deliver his soul from hell.
Deliver his soul from hell. Somebody asks you, do you beat your children? I'm like, listen, I'm trying to deliver this soul from hell. Right? I'm trying to save them. Right? Timeout don't work on Hebrew Israelites. We too hard enough, stiff-necked, and rebellious of a people. Most already told us about us, right? We're a hard enough, stiff-necked, rebellious people. Timeout is not going to work. Standing in the corner is only going to go too far, so far. Right? You can take away the game and take away this and take away. That's only going to go so far. After you done took everything away, after you done stood in the corner, right? If you want to go through all those steps, thou must beat his him. Okay? And save his soul from hell. Okay? Don't be upset when your son is driving you crazy. You have not done this because you swear by what Esau said. Because our people love, listen, when a white man says something, it's like the law. If he says it's wrong for you to beat your children, all of a sudden it's wrong. Right? Nobody thinks about what did the scriptures say? What did the Heavenly Father say? Okay. Or they call BCW or whatever. Listen, I wish I would act like I was calling somebody from my past. If I even uttered something like that, I might not be here to have this service with you today. I wouldn't even think to make a statement like that. Right? But these children here, they taught all kinds of things. Right? If you go to school, the teachers, oh yeah, you can call. You can call, that's abuse. Child abuse, right? They're misinformed and misinstructed, but why? The Most High has opened up the book to us again, and we're going to govern ourselves accordingly, con? So what? We're going to keep our children, what? In order. Right? We're going to keep them in discipline. Because if we don't beat them, guess what? 911 going to beat them.
That's right.
Right? Everybody crying then. Right? When the police got your son, and they put the chokehold on them, choke them out, kill them. Right? A lot of time it be the children of what? Oh, not a lot of time, all the time. It be the children of disobedience that get caught out there like that. Right? You don't be no righteous that fall into the hands of the wicked like that. The righteous don't fall into the hands of the wicked. The scriptures already told us that. Right? The righteous is moved to side when the evil comes.
Right.
All right? Right? And he said the evil, the wicked is put in his stead. Where did you get that from? Come on, man. You gotta know this God you serve. The God of Israel don't play around with his righteous. His righteous, you're in his hand. You need not to worry about getting killed unarmed or getting pulled over and shot and all this, unless you're doing wickedness.
Proverbs 11, verse 7 to 8.
Proverbs 11, verse 7. Let's get that. Proverbs 11, verse 7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 7. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish,
Right?
and the hope of unjust men perisheth. The righteous is delivered out of trouble,
Right?
and the wicked cometh in his stead.
Coming where?
In his stead.
That means the Most High will literally put the wicked where you was. Because he's going to deliver you out that trouble. You ain't going to get in that trouble. Right? Is he working nights? You work nights? You can get up. You can't lay out. You can't lay out. Right? So the wicked is put in his stead. Okay. Unless you got a night job. Got children, wife. Amen. That's right over there. All right. Read on.
And hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor.
All right, read it. Drop that. Let's go back to Deuteronomy.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death,
Right.
and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree.
Right.
But thou shalt in any right bury him that day.
That's right. So what? They didn't leave the body up there. And righteously, sometimes we had to what? We had to deal with these nations all different ways. So in our servitude, sometimes it be a public example of public execution. People need to see for whatever crime that they committed. You're not supposed to leave them up there overnight. You take them down. Okay? You put them to death, you put them up, take them down. Remember, this is wartime we're reading about. We're conquering these nations. So a lot of things that we were doing, right, was necessary to what? To put the oppression on these people. That they know not to rise against the children of Israel. All right? Let's read on.
For he that is hanged is a curse of the Most High.
Right, he that is hanged is a curse from the Most High. Right, so that's why you know the Mashiach Yahushua, he suffered the curse for the children of Israel. Okay. When they were hanging us here in America, that was a curse from the Most High to be hung on a tree. That was the anger of the Heavenly Father being played out that we might see it. Okay. Read on.
For he that is hanged is a curse of the Most High.
Right.
That thy land be not defiled, which the Most High thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. Chapter 22. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray,
right,
and hide thyself from them.
Right.
Thou shalt in any case, bring them again unto thy brother.
So what is this talking about? Being your what? Being your what?
Servant.
No. Brother's keeper. We are to be our brother's keeper. We should be our sister's keeper. Meaning that if you see something that's going wrong with your brother and your sister, they may not be aware of it. But the fact that you saw it, you should look out. Right? You might see somebody's child wander off. They don't see it. Their back is turned. We're supposed to be the time to go, hey, check it out, you know, or go grab them. Say, oh, where you going? Right? Pull them back in. Not sit back and be like, oh, that ain't my child. Oh, well. Right? That's that individual or individualism that's taught here in America. Right? Being an individualite instead of an Israelite. You're only worried about yourself. Israel did not have that selfish mentality. We, in our laws, it was against the law. If you saw something going on with your brother, he wasn't aware of it, right? Maybe his house is on fire. You're supposed to go get some water. You ain't supposed to be like, Dad, his house is on fire. It's probably going to burn down because he ain't home. And you there watching him. Let me get. Nowadays, all they're going to do is this.
World Star.
Well, starting to get on, they put it on YouTube, right? You're supposed to get involved. Everybody understand this? This is community. Common unity. That's where the word community comes from. The word common and unity. Community, right? If you're in a Hebrew Israelite community, right? You have that common unity. You're supposed to look out for one another. If your brother have an issue, you have an issue. If your sister got a problem, you got a problem. If there's something you can do to help, you're supposed to help. You understand this?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that a lot has to do with the integration of us getting with Esau. Because I know when I was growing up in the 70s, they caught me crossing the street. The neighbor came downstairs to drape me up and brought me. I was crossing Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn. Now you know how big that street was. You know what I mean? And I'm like this guy. And I'm crossing that big street. The neighbor upstairs saw me on the second floor, saw me crossing that street. As soon as I got across the street, she grabbed me by the back of my neck and said, "Are you crazy?" and shook me and took me upstairs to my mother. And when my mother got me, it was all over. You know what I mean? You know, the belt came out. It was on. It was on.
She keep it Torah.
It was on. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that. I mean,
I know all over you. She kept Torah on you for a few minutes.
So, you know, during that time, I know that, you know, even with my family members, they all went through that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We have to go further and further away from the Most High. It's not just the integration with Esau, but the earth is waxed. Give me that. The earth has waxed wickeder and wickeder. It has plummeted into deeper depths of unrighteousness. Right? So we might look historically and say, man, we were better in the past, you know? Because society is getting worse and worse. All right? You got to look at society. It's getting worse and worse. The sins is multiplying in the earth. It's not reducing. All right? As we get closer to our salvation, things will get even crazy on this earth. So our righteousness is faded.
Matthew 24.
24:12? Okay. Okay. Yep, exactly.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Right, because iniquity shall abound. What does it mean to abound? Take over. Sin has taken over our mind, our way, our life. It's commonplace. So because iniquity abounds, the love of many shall wax cold. Meaning that what? There's no love. There's only that individual mentality. Okay? I also give you Matthew 13 and 15. Matthew 13 and 15. Okay. So all these instances is written about in Scripture. So yes, it's worse today than it was back then. And it's going to be worse tomorrow. And it's going to continue to get worse, society-wise. But the children of Israel, we forsook this society. Even though we in the world, we're living in the world, we're not of the world. Right? We're not of this world. We're not of this kingdom. We're of the kingdom to come. Our mentality, our actions, our lives will be set on the ways of the Most High Yah and His Torah. So we're not a part of this. We can see it. We see it getting worse and worse. Right? You can't even turn on what the cooking. I can't say cooking channel. That didn't happen. HGTV. You can't turn on the channel for fixing cars and don't see homosexuality. What does that got to do with fixing cars? They throw it in everything. Why? Because they're programming the people. They pushing that sin. Right? If movies come out, got nothing to do with that. We have to throw it in there somehow.
One Power Rangers are lesbians. Yeah.
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 15.
Right.
For this people's heart is waxed gross,
Right?
and their ears are dull of hearing,
Come on.
and their eyes they have closed.
Come on.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes,
Right.
and hear with their ears,
Read.
and should understand with their heart,
Come on.
and should become converted,
Read.
and I should heal them.
You see that? When your eyes, your ears closed to the will of the Most High, right? You can't be converted. You can't be healed. You're going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. Generation after generation after generation. Because you refuse to hear the way of the Most High. Our foreparents refused to hear Yahweh. Therefore, we're worse. And if we refuse to hear Yahweh, our children are worse. Everybody see it? It is a cascading effect from generation to generation, and we got worse and worse and worse. You see, in old times, we used to hear the Bible more. The less of the instruction that we receive of the Bible, the worse the people get. Everybody say that? It's the less the Spirit of the Most High is amongst us. Right? So it's a yearly thing that we wax worse.
Second Ezra 14 and 17.
Let's look at that. So these are all examples. That's in the Apocrypha, Second Ezra.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 17. For look, how much the world shall be weaker through age.
Right. We know.
So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
You see that? So if you're thinking that today was worse than yesterday, you're correct. And guess what tomorrow's going to be? Worse than today.
That's right.
Okay? The only reason why you might feel differently in your surroundings is because you forsook this world. But if you was out there, you'd be just as bad as them. Right? You'd have that evil eye towards everybody, you'd be just as wicked as them. Right? But because the Most High called you, however which way he called you, some of you he came to directly, some of you he may came to your spouse, he might came to your parents. However you've been called out of this earth, out of this society, out of this wicked society. You've been called. That's why you're here now. Right? There's a lot of other places to be today. All right? These chairs not even filled today. So a lot of people are other places. Right? But the Most High called you to serve him. So therefore you're serving him. Okay? Read.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 17. For look, how much the world shall be weaker through age.
Right?
So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
Come on.
For the truth is fled far away, and lacing is hard at hand.
Right?
But how hasteth the vision to come which thou hast seen.
That's it on that. Right? So let's jump. So good scripture. All right? So things will get worse and worse until the Most High make it better. Our lives have turned. We're not getting better and better. So our interaction, because we're keeping Torah. So therefore, we're not living like your neighbors live. You might see drama happen up the block, drama down the block. There's no drama with you. Why is that? Because you have forsaken the way of this earth, of this society. And you are putting on the commandments of the Most High. Therefore, the healing is already started. Right? You're already in the healing. Right? When you revert and go back to the ways of the world, you see that shit is waiting on you. That drama is waiting on you. Okay? But as long as you keep pure and you keep doing the will of the Most High, you don't have to worry about that. All right? Let's go back.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore to him again.
Right?
In like manner shalt thou do with his donkey, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brothers, which he has lost, and thou hast found. Shalt thou do likewise? Thou mayest not hide thyself. Thou shalt not see thy brother's donkey or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again.
Right. So we have to be mindful, or we have to understand how we can apply this law today. This is a very easy law to apply today. All right? You can keep this commandment every day. Just looking out for your fellow brother and sister. Just having a care for, just like you care for your things, caring for their things. Okay? We don't have ox and donkeys in the city. They didn't have ox and donkeys in the city in these times either. You gotta understand, ox and donkeys was where? Where do we have our ox and donkeys at? What do they call it in the scriptures? We've been over this. Where? Where do we keep them? Do we keep them in the city? In the field, but what do they call the fields? The suburbs. They still call that to this day. Right? We went over this, right? We had the suburb area. The suburbs is where those that kept cattle, they kept them in the suburbs. Right? And the thing was, the way we receive it is they would bring it through the market. The merchants would come from the suburbs, bring some of their wares to sell, and they would bring it to the city. And then people would buy it. Oh yeah, let me get a goat. Now, yes, you would buy a live goat, and you would take it and you would kill it yourself, and right? They didn't, come with the feet frozen or anything like that. Like you get it normally at the meat market, everything is frozen and wrapped in a plastic. No, they would come with their merchant, with their lambs or their goats or their vegetables and everything that they grew from the suburbs. They would come every day with the victuals, come into the city, and you would buy of it. Set up the merchant shop bright and early in the morning, so when you got up, it was there for you to do. Because not everybody lived in the suburbs. All right? Some of us had occupations that were what? City-type occupations. Okay? You're a bricklayer. What are you doing in the suburbs? The bricks are in the city. Right? Right? You're a builder of some sort. All that building and constructing and all that stuff. You're an artificer. You are a there were so many different occupations that we had in our cities. So we had structure, okay, in our cities, right? But we did it a different way. Like it doesn't that they can't do it that way. It's more profitable for them to freeze everything, right? For them to mass use machines to mass slaughter animals, right? The machine cut them up, freeze it, send it all over. It's just about what? Greed and money. It doesn't have to be that way, right? There's enough land out here, especially here. There's enough land out here that we can have suburbs, and they brought things every day down to the market. It was fresh. It was just walking a few minutes ago, right? And you get it. The fishermen used to go out. Those of us from that. Not just from the islands, but also from different parts of America that was bordering water. No, when did the fishermen go out? When did the masters of fishermen? What time did they go out?
Oh, low
to go
tide.
fishing?
Tide going low. Early morning.
Yeah, give me the time here. Time. Give me the time on time.
Like 4? Morning.
4 in the morning, right? 3, 4 in the morning they heading out. Why? Because by the time they come back, what? It would be about market time. and you would actually buy the fish that was just swimming last night. Right?
They're still doing that now.
They still do it, but we don't see it because we're in inner city.
Right. If you don't go.
We don't live that life, but if we lived that life, we would know that hasn't changed.
Right.
Right? Now we go to what? Broward meat and fish.
Right.
Lord knows. They pack it out, they unpack it, they pack it back, they pack it back in, they put it in the freezer, they bring it back out, right? They rub it down and look all nice and fresh. Right? That fish ain't swimming in weeks. Right? It is what it is, right? This is reality, right? But what we're showing you is that what we read about the scriptures is not far-fetched. It's actually the way things are supposed to be. Right? The people that were fishermen, they went with their nets, they went out and fished, wee hours in the morning to fish. They brought that fish back to the marketplace. Right? Some they kept for themselves, for their family, and they for the marketplace. Right? And it was sold out because everybody had to eat every day. So this was something that had to happen every day. Okay. Today we have the trucking industry, right? If the truck shut down, Walmart be empty. If the truck shut down, we experienced that, right? When the trucks got cut off from coming to Florida because of the hurricane, how long did it take for Walmart to be empty? I think 2 days. I think about 2 days. 2 days, Walmart was empty. Right? So it's very, for us to realize how fragile or how similar the system still is the same. It just mass produced, it just mass operated so they can make a mass amount of money. It's built off of greed. Right? That's why they come with all this GMO, force feeding the animals, growing them faster, doing all, making them last longer. They don't rot now. If they don't rot on the shelf, guess what? If they don't decompose, they won't decompose in your body either. Right? So that means what? Right? You're fooling yourself to think that you're eating something that you're going to get any nutritional value. You're not getting nothing out of it. It fills your belly for that moment. Then it goes on. Okay? But that's a whole other class. All right, let's read on. Where you at?
Verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Right?
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Right. So now I know why you do this thing. It's a picture. I don't know if that picture's coming out. Right? So now, the woman should not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. Okay. That's clear instruction. What are you learning in that instruction? 2 things you're learning. One thing you learn is what? There's a difference between man clothes and woman clothes. Because if there was no difference, then this law would make no sense. Everybody understand that? Man cannot put on a woman's garment. A woman cannot put on a man's garment. Right? All right, these can be those. I can deal with those. It's first sign. All right? They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So now, how do we determine what's a woman's garment and a man's garment? You see, you should have put the word there. Yeah. Right? So now, if you see this sign for a bathroom, which bathroom is this for?
Lady girl.
That's how quick he had? He caught it real quick. He said, lady girl. Right? Lady girl. If a man is dressed like this, right, that's a problem, right? Right or wrong? Huh? If a man, if somebody look at this and say, that must be the man's bathroom, something's wrong with you. Okay? That's not the man's bathroom. That's clearly the woman's bathroom, right? What bathroom is this? The man's bathroom, right? The boy's bathroom, right? For the children, right? This is not the girl's bathroom, right? Why do we know this is not the girl's bathroom?
Because you don't have any like this.
That's right. I mean, no triangle, right? No dress, right? See, the children, it's easy for the children. We the ones that suffer. We suffer because we so programmed. Esau has got your mind all twisted up. So programmed that you can't see that if your clothing, if you have clothes on and you look like this, you look like a man. If you're wearing clothes and you look like this, you look like a man. Why? What are you missing as a woman? What's missing from the dress? That's what the triangle is. The triangle is the dress. You don't have a dress on. Therefore, you look like a man. This is the man's thing. Very simple. No matter what they told you, see, man. I'm going to give you a tricky one.
I'm looking for it. Got it? You got it up there? Okay, I was looking for it. I don't know it's up there. It's up there?
I'm not going to give you that one yet. I'll give you this one next.
There you go.
What is this? What type of bathroom is this?
Girl, boy, and kid.
No, not girl, boy, and kid can go in the bathroom. What is this? Family. There it is. We have to be programmed on what a family is. Because they got souls that's called modern family that don't follow this structure right here. This is family. The man, the woman, the children, right? And if you have another family member that have some issues, there's some disability, right? There's something set up for them too, right? Elder grandpa, you can't walk no more, yeah. Right? So this is the family restroom, right? Clear, easy to understand. Okay. Anybody confused? Now some people might say, damn, that's kind of raw for service, right? But this is the condition that we're living in. This is what our children have to suffer. All right? Now I thought he would get the one that was a half and half one. But no, not with Moshe. He'll get this, right? Because that's how Moshe get that. Okay. This is the question mark bathroom. Right? The Twilight Zone. Right? We do not support homosexuality. We do not support transsexual. We do not support the LGBTQP industry or clubs or whatever. That is against the will of the Most High. Wickedness and foolishness. All right? Right? As Benjamin would say, more fire. All right? And we have to make sure we put that in the minds of our children, because when they go to school, they teach them that it's okay. They don't hold it back, so you don't hold it back. Right? They're not holding it back from your children. You don't hold it back from your children.
That's right.
All right? Sis? That's right. So, we're considered prejudice. We're considered homophobic. We're considered discriminatory. We discriminate. Okay? We'll take all those labels. Right? Call it what you want to call it.
We'll take all.
Right? We'll take it all. Because our Father that's in heaven, He's all those things.
That's right.
He's all those things. Therefore, we are all those things. Right?
That's right.
He's racist. Therefore, we are. Okay? We are everything that our Father is. All right? We'll take it on. Because somebody got to say something or do something. All right? Because we all sit back and let them run it, right? All of our children be looking like this. Right? And be confused. More fire. Right? Right? He's even confused. He don't know what you're looking at. Right? That's a man that wants to be a woman that still dates women. or something to that effect, right? I don't know what he does, right? Take a beat.
Probably need to hold on for 17.
Huh?
17 verse.
Okay, yeah.
For all that do so are an abomination unto the Most High by
All
power.
that do so is what?
Are an abomination unto the Most High by power.
How does the Heavenly Father feel about abominations? You mean Ecclesiastes 15:13. I'm going to ask you a question after you read this scripture. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 15, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
The Most High hateth all abomination.
He does what?
He hateth all
The
abomination.
Most High hateth all abominations. So now, if the Most High hate abominations, and men that wear women's apparel, and women that wear men's apparel is an abomination, how does the Most High feel about women that wear men's apparel? How does he feel about them? He hates them. How does he feel about women that push that women should wear men's apparel? He hates them. Right? The Most High hates them. You want to be hated of the Heavenly Father? So it's not about our hate. The hate that we spread is the Most High's hate. All right? Just like we spread his love. If the Most High hates it, how should you feel about it? Give me Psalms 97 verse 10. Psalm 97 verse 10.
The book of Psalms, chapter 97, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Ye that love the Most High,
Right?
hate evil.
Hate what?
Hate evil.
Read on.
He preserveth the souls of his saints.
That's right. So if you love the Most High, you will hate evil. You will hate abominations. You would not want to be caught. That's why we got to learn. Hate is a very strong, important emotion. Hate prevents. All right? If you hate something, you will not deal with that. You cannot be coerced into it. You cannot be talked into it because you hate it. Hate is why. That's why Satan always says you gotta love everybody and everything, because that means you could be persuaded to do about anything. Because your hate, don't hate nothing. Don't hate nobody. Hate is what prevents things. Hate is very important. Teaching our children when and where and how to hate is just important as to teach them when and where and how to love. They have to be balanced in their thinking. They can't love everything and everybody. Because that would make them what? Naive, vulnerable, right? If your children hate homosexuality and someone tried them at school, they would know exactly how to deal with that, right? If you tell the children to love everything and accept everything, when they are approached with certain things, they will not know what to do with that. They're going to move according to their feelings. We went over that last night, this feelings thing. That feelings will get you in trouble. All right? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
That's right.
So if you want to wait on your feelings, you're going to feel the wrong thing at the wrong time. You have to instruct your mind to do what's right, to know right from wrong. That's a mind well instructed. Okay? You know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. Not how you feel. Okay? So we have to make sure, as servants of the Most High, that we are setting our minds right. We're setting our minds on the will of the Most High. The Most High said it's a hateful, abominable thing. It should be a hateful, abominable thing to you too. If he says it's a thing you ought to love, you should love it. We went over what? We went over shame last night. Things that you should be ashamed of. and things that you should not be ashamed of. Sometimes we are ashamed of things that we shouldn't be ashamed of. Okay. Because our minds were following our feelings, and our feelings got us fooled. Our heart got us tricked. We have to train your mind to know what to be ashamed of. Yeah? What's that? Zephaniah 1 and 8. Let's go into something else. Right. Go into something else. I see where you're going with it, though. You know, it can go there, but that stranger power is more dealing with the power of the other nations. So let's read on.
Verse 6. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 6. If the bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young, but thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days.
Right. So what? Don't take the egg and the mother. Okay, the head or whatever. Let the eggs grow and hatch. Take the head, right? Or if the eggs are not, if you have a hen that laid eggs that have not been fertilized, then you take the eggs. And you don't take the eggs and the mother. Everybody understand that? Wow. Take one or the other so that you can still produce. Right? You can think about tomorrow, in other words. Right? You take everything today, like some of our children do. They eat everything today, right, and then wonder why they're hungry tomorrow. Well, you ate everything yesterday. That's why you don't have nothing today. Right? So you got to always think of tomorrow. Right? Read on.
Verse 8. When thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof.
Right?
That thou bring not blood upon thine house.
Come on.
If any man fall from thence.
Right. So then what? You build a house, you got to have a battlement around your roof. What does that mean? What is that battlement? A railing. It's a railing. So nobody don't fall off the roof. Because we went up on our roofs. It was something that we did. Where was Peter when the vision came to him from the Most High about dealing with Cornelius? Where was he at? Who remembers? You don't remember? He's on the roof of his house prior to eating, because we used to go up on our roofs to meditate, pray to the Most High, whatever the case may be. So it's common to go up on your roof. But if you have no battlement on your roof, you might slip and fall to your death. Break your neck. So he says, if you have a roof, put a railing around the roof. Okay? Don't put a flat roof with no railing. Right? Read.
Verse 9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest thy fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled.
Do what?
Defiled.
Anybody that do farming here, have done farming, know a little bit about farming, right? You have to divide your whatever you plant in rows, right? And you got to divide those rows. Why? Because then you have what? Cross pollination, which can cause you to corrupt the food that you planted. So the Most High even telling us how agriculture. Do not mix seeds. If you're planting certain type of seed here, only have that seed there. Then you got to make a border before you go into another seed, right? So that they don't cross. Because if they cross, it's going to destroy your crop, right? Some crops grow faster than others, so it will cause them to intertwine, to root up the other one, all kind of mess. All right, everything in its own row order. Right, read.
Verse 10. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and a donkey together.
Right. Why not plow with the ox and the donkey together? Because the ox is stronger, right? The donkey's legs is shorter. This don't make no sense. Either you're dealing with the ox or you plowing with the donkey. You can't tie the ox to the donkey and pull the plow. Okay? This might sound like real simple things, right? But trust me, there's a reason why the Most High is telling us these things.
No Israel.
Because he knows Israel. He know that we have the best, worst ideas ever, right? So he makes sure that we don't mess ourselves up, right? And we do things like this today. So you gotta look at these laws and see how could this law, how could it help today? What would we do today that would be something similar to this, right? That we're not using things in the right order, right?
We'll buy a vehicle with big rims before we buy a secure home. We'd rather look into a vehicle than trying to purchase, something to live.
Right. That's a vehicle. Let's use a vehicle. Okay. And some people will purchase a vehicle. Then they're like you said, you go buy these huge rims to put on a vehicle. The vehicle can't barely turn a corner. You can't drive over 30 miles an hour, right? Because you had to have these flashy rims driving around the place, right? Big wheels are for a big vehicle, right? You have the opposite. You have a big old car, like a brother's, it's a car, big old long Lincoln Continental, and they have little tires like this, and they scrape on the floor, and they drive around scraping the floor. That don't make no sense. But we do things like this, right? Right? Talking about they pop in the car, whatever they do with the car, right? Makes no sense. We'll destroy something. So what? You're destroying your ox or your donkey by tying them together. Let one of them pull the plow at a time, not both at the same time. Right? Let's read.
Verse 11. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts,
right?
Has of woolen and linen together.
Right. You got wool and linen. So now you got wool, linen, diverse sorts. I mean, your body has temperature. Okay? You have temperature in your body. Now you got one part of your body hot as I don't know what, right? And then you got on shorts and winter boots. Your body has temperature. Okay? When you go to cover up yourself, you cover up yourself in woolen because you're trying to be warm, trying to be completely warm. All right? Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have on a heavy outer clothing and then you're going to be somewhere inside so your clothes underneath is not wool. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about you just got the heat here and here is open, right? You want to cover yourself, all right? Completely. It's going into your body temperature. Should not be diverse all over your body. Okay? That's why I use woolen and linen as an example. A thin fabric and a thick fabric. A warm fabric and a fabric that breathes. Right? One or the other. What are you doing? Are you trying to cover up? Is it cold or is it warm? Are you trying to let your body breathe? One or the other. All right? Now we know high fashion loves to do that. Right? They like to mix fabrics and you have your arms be linen, but the middle is wool, and this and that and all. It causes the temperature in your body to be confused. Right? This is a medical thing. This is for your body better medically for you. That you cover yourself up. Or that you let yourself breathe. All right? I think what the priest used to say, he used to be out of Jamaica teaching. The brothers have a ski hat on in the Caribbean. It's 90 degrees outside. Why do you have, this is back when ski hats was real popular. It was a style. I would say, what is that, the 90s? Late 90s, it was a popular style, right?
Got it from BET.
Right, from BET. They see them wearing ski masks on BET. And you in the Caribbean, it's 100 degrees, and you got a ski mask on, a ski hat on. What are you doing?
Still do it down here too.
Let's read on.
Verse 12. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon thy four quarters of thy vesture,
right?
wherewith thou coverest thyself.
Right. So what? That vesture, that clothing, you're supposed to have fringes on your clothing, right? And it says the four quarters mean that from every direction you're seen, we should be able to see the fringe. Everybody understand that? That means if you have fringe, just a little bit of fringes in the front of your clothes, right? Somebody see you from behind, you will look like you have what? No fringes on, right? Or you have a little bit of fringes in the back of your clothes. Somebody see you from the front, they can't see your fringes, right? That's why it says have fringes on the four quarters, meaning that you can see the fringe from every direction, every angle. Whether you're wearing ZZ, right? Which is, anybody got ZZs on? Can you show that, what I mean by ZZ? You stand and show the ZZ. Right? So you got on both. All right, you got on ZZs. Right? So you got on both ZZs, right? Or you got a full fringe, like what's on the bottom of his garment. Everywhere you go, you should have one or the other. And you'll on your vesture, on your clothing. All right? If you don't have any fringes, they have joy fabric. We actually have ZZs in the cabinet up front. Get your ZZs. All right? Just like you got everything else, you get it. So that you can keep this law. Okay? Read on.
If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her,
right,
and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Right. What does that mean, not a maid? Not a virgin. Okay? Maid and virgins are interchangeable words. Okay? So he found her not a maid, meaning that what? She's been with somebody. So he's like, man, I took this wife and I'm realizing,
secondhand.
Right, that she's been with somebody, right? Right? Read on.
Then shall the father of the damsel, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity,
right,
unto the elders of the city in the gate.
So wait a minute. The parents of the daughter is supposed to have proof of the day that their daughter lost their virginity. So this means it's not supposed to be a secret thing, huh? It's not supposed to be something done while your parents are at work, right? It's not supposed to be something done, oh, this is your personal thing, this is my life, this is my, they have that individual mentality in this kingdom. I'm 18 now, right? This is something that the whole family should be aware of. When a woman gives herself to a man, the family is supposed to be aware of this. Why? Because her virginity is considered a thing of value. Why is it a thing of value? Because what comes from a woman? All of us. We've all come from a woman, right? So a woman's womb is very valuable to the kingdom, to the nation. The womb is not something personal. It's a valued, I don't want to say commodity, right? But that sounds right. It's a treasure for the nation. Why? Because the nation cannot grow without your womb. Okay? So when they're keeping, this is why there's so much emphasis put on the woman and what she do with her body, because she is the one that's going to bring forth the children. So we protect her. We protect her womb. We don't want nothing going on down there that's not supposed to be going on. Okay? Now we live in a lustful society where our women, they don't even consider their womb, right? All they consider is the pleasure that comes with sleep, all right? The act, not the outcome of the act. Because they're taught, oh, get rid of your virginity, and like it's a sport, right? It's some sort of entertainment. All right. When you lay with a man, it's not about entertainment. You can find other ways of entertaining yourself. When you lay with a man, it is a unification of what? Those two families. Because that's how families join. Because now you have what is called in-laws, right? Families join through marriage. Okay? Children, our nation grows through the act of marriage. Okay? So marriage carries a lot of weight. Is there pleasure in intercourse? Yes. But that pleasure that's in intercourse is not there to be the main focus of the intercourse. It's made to spiritually link this man and this woman together. Okay? That's what it was created for. All right? It's a physical action that has spiritual connotations. Okay? So, in this scenario we're reading here in the scriptures, this man got suspicious or jealous over his wife and brought up an evil accusation against his wife, saying that what? I think she's been with somebody. Okay? The parents got involved because they should be offended. Because then what are you saying about us? Right? Are you saying that we didn't raise our daughter right? That we're trying to pull a fast one on you? Because he paid the parents for the daughter. Those of us that know the laws of marriage, right? He gave them what? A dowry. Okay, he gave a dowry. So what? This accusation against the daughter is also taken on by the parents. All right, read on.
Verse 16. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I give my daughter unto this man to wife.
Right?
And he hated her. And lo, he had given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid.
Right. So the damsel's father is going to the court and said, I gave my daughter to this man. I gave my daughter to this man. That's how marriage takes place. For marriage to take place righteously in the will of the Most High, that statement got to be made. I give my daughter to this man. Okay? Prove all things. Give me a apocrypha. 7 or is it 17? Where were we last night, actually? What's the other one?
The one you want?
No. What's the other one that was going over? Hold that. You can get this one? All right, give me that one for now. Can't remember what's control.
The book of
I get it now. 40, 42. Go ahead, get that. Yeah. Very good.
Sirach chapter 7, verse 25. The book of Sirach chapter 7, verse 25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou perform the weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding.
Right, but give her to a man. Give her to a man of understanding. So as fathers, one of our duties is to give our daughters to a man of understanding. Right? Not let our daughters go out there and find them on their own, but to give them. Right? Now they might find someone, but that's why they have to come and bring that person to see if that person, if the father agrees that this can be a man of understanding. Okay? They might have met the man on the way. It's like what? The servant that came and met Rebecca, he had to go to her house and speak to her family to then bring Rebecca to Isaac. Right. He had to go to the family and tell them what everything that's transpiring what needs to happen so that he can get permission to take the daughter to the family. Give me Ecclesiasticus, also in the Apocrypha, 42.
Verse 9 and 10.
Country.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42, verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter, when no man knoweth.
Right?
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
Right. The care for your daughter taketh away sleep. Then the father waketh when no man knows. He's thinking. Right? Where's she at? What's she doing? Let me go check the room. All right, she's in there. She's asleep. Right? That's nothing to be ashamed of. Some go, why you remember? Give me the first verse of this chapter. Let me show you what this chapter is really about.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42, verse 1. Of these things be not thou ashamed.
Of these things be not thou ashamed. So as you read down this chapter, it's telling you things to not be ashamed about. Things that this is the way it's supposed to be. Go back down to where he was at, the language.
Verse 9. The father that waketh for the daughter, when no man knoweth.
Right?
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
Come on.
When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Right, lest she pass away the flower of her age. Okay. So he's thinking, okay, when she's going to get of age, right, to bear children. Okay, when she gets her cycle, as they call it. Okay, read on.
And being married, lest she should be hated.
Right? Now she don't want to get married and be hated. Why was the woman hated in the marriage? Because he thought what? That she did what? She was not a maid. Meaning she went out and she did something with somebody and nobody's aware of it. So you're thinking about that. Oh, I don't want my daughter to go and get with somebody that's just going to just use and keep it moving. And then now I got to marry her off and she'll be hated. You be thinking about these things. Read on.
In her virginity,
right?
Lest she should be defiled.
Just be what?
Defiled.
In her virginity, lest she be defiled. Read on.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
And then she come on to her, she's pregnant. Right? How many of our women out here got children and where's the father? Okay? That's a curse. That's something that a father worries about. Now he got to raise a child. Right? Read on.
In having a husband, lest she should misbehave herself.
Right. So what? You want it to be right, so that when she does get a husband, she doesn't misbehave herself. That she presents herself as a righteous wife, good to her husband. Okay. Read on.
When she is married, lest she should be barren.
Then she can't have children. When she's married, she can't have children. So all these things, what a father thinks about for his daughter. Read on.
Keep sure watch over a shameless daughter.
Keep what?
Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
What is a shameless daughter? Go to that one. Let's go to that one. That's right to the point, right? What do you mean no shame? What is a shameless daughter? In what way?
In her attitude, her attributes, the way she dressed, the way she carried herself.
What about the way she dressed? What about the way she carried herself? You're there, but you gotta give me the full on. Give me
very
the full.
vulgar, presenting, her lady lumps and things like that.
A loose one.
Oh boy, they're trying. He's trying to bring it out. He's trying to speak. Right. All right. A shameless daughter is a daughter that doesn't put away her nakedness. She wants to show herself. She has mannerisms to say that she's willing to interact with men and stuff like that. You watch your daughter and you see her attributes. You say, you know what? You like to talk to men too much, or you like to dress a certain way. This you moving like a shameless daughter. So not that she's out there doing this, but you seeing her actions, right? Right? That would be shameless attire, right? Right? Let me went in my pictures. That picture's so small, I don't think we see it. But just want to dress revealing, the tight jeans, and want to put on the revealing low cut tops, and as soon as they start to mature, as soon as their body starts to mature, everybody can see this one, right? It's too small. As soon as their body starts to mature, they want to show it off, right? That's a shameless daughter, okay? Right? Even though they're wearing, the wrong apparel, but that's a shameless daughter, okay? What does the scripture say about a shameless daughter? Do what?
Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
Keep a sure watch over her. That means you can't leave her to herself. Because you see her mannerisms, you see how she acts, you see her personality. And you say, no, you can't go away nowhere. You need to stay right here, right? But I see your spirit. Listen, the most honest people to judge children is their parents. We gotta judge our children. All your children ain't the same. Okay? We have to look at your children and say, okay, you're like this, you're like that, and deal with them according to the spirit that's on them. Right? You can't just give up. You say, okay, you kind of like to be too revealing. I'm gonna keep a sure watch on you. All right. So one child said, well, how come you let my sister go there and there, but you won't let me go? Because you and your sister's different. That's it. You don't need to make no explanation. Oh, you let my brother go here and you don't let me go because you and your brother are different. I know your brother ain't gonna do certain things. You, on the other hand, right?
You're on the investigation.
Me and my brother was very different. We grew up in the same house, we different, right? They had to watch me different ways. They had to watch him, right? Because we're different. People have different personalities. But as a mother and a father, you have to assess the personality of your child and deal with them accordingly. Everybody understand that? Because you got to be the one that's waking up at night. You got to ensure their safety. You have to ensure that they do well. Right here, this father's trying to ensure that his daughter will do nothing crazy, right? Before he get a chance to marry her off. All right,
Lest you make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies.
Make him what?
Make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies.
That for people that hate you, when they see your daughter going off, right? They better look at him. He can't even raise his daughter, right? Look at her, she out there, right? I told you he ain't no good, right? It make you a laughing stock. Wow. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I mean, who here would be proud to see their daughter on Jerry Springer? Right? But how many daughters are on Jerry Springer? Right? That's on Morty. Right? They don't run out of new faces. Right? We don't know if they're real, they're true, or whatever the case may be. But it's foolishness altogether. Okay. Read on.
And a byword in the city.
We used to say that your daughter ends up what? On Girls Gone Wild, College Edition? Right? Because those are actually people's daughters that's there. That's not scripted. You know what I mean? That's when you send these children away to these schools, they get with this sorority or this fraternity, and they start getting drunk, getting wild, getting crazy. Right? Those of us that went to the universities know what I'm talking about. It get loose out there. Right? So, you have a shameless daughter, she ain't going on. She'll go to school right there. The school right around the corner from the house. Right? You ain't going nowhere.
There you go.
Don't want to hear it.
That's scary.
Right? They teach you the same thing. They got the same books at that school right there. I don't got to send you to Georgia. You live in Florida. You got Florida State, but you want to go to Georgia. You want to Georgia State. Why you want to go to State? What they teach you there, they ain't teaching you here. Nothing. All right? They ain't teaching you nothing. The only day you want to go there so you're not watched. Right? So you can go do whatever foolishness you want to do. Right? It ain't going down like that. All right? Now, if you have a very humble, righteous, shamefaced daughter, you might be a little bit more lax and say, no, her spirit, she ain't doing nothing like that. But you gotta make that decision. That decision is up to you. All right, read on.
and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude.
And make thee ashamed before the multitude. Okay, so it's a shameful thing for a father when a daughter goes astray. Okay, it's a shameful thing. All right, so let's go back.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 17. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I have found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
Right, so what is that? Desire. Put up tokens of virginity for me on my screen again. See, my screen is black. Screen gotta be active. All right. Let's look up tokens of virginity. Put it on my screen. Read on.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
They shall spread what?
The cloth before the elders of the city.
So the parents is supposed to have the token of their daughter's virginity that she lost on her what? The night of her marriage. Okay? And that cloth goes to the parents, presented and given to the parents. Because the parents, the mother is the one that prepares the marriage chamber in our culture. Okay? The mother is one that prepares the daughter to go into the marriage chamber and prepares the marriage chamber for the daughter. All right? This is very different in our lives, what we experience. But that shows you how far we are from the ways of the Most High. We're very far from the ways of the Most High in America. America teaches our children a completely different mentality. We have that mentality in us. We got to purge it out of us so that we can purge it out of them. If we still think that way ourselves, our children are destined to go the same way that we went. Right? You cannot teach your child to do something that you don't accept yourself. Okay? That spirit of the hypocrisy spirit is not going to work. They're going to follow after your footsteps, what you really believe to be true. That's what they're going to follow. It's like that child that has a parent that smoke, that tell their children, you better not be smoking. Right? Don't smoke. And they got the cigarette in their hand. Right? Your child, more than likely, when you're not looking, is going to what? They're going to smoke. Don't take drugs, you on drugs. Right? Don't sleep around, you sleeping around. Okay? It doesn't work that way. What's that, a cartoon? What is that? Not that one. You don't need to see that one. All right. Just give me something basic. The token of virginity. Roll out the sheet.
That one's with fixing the bed. This one? All right.
Read on.
Verse 18. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. And they shall amerce him 100 shekels of silver and give them unto the father of the damsel.
That's right. Mean that what? Because you disrespected, what are they doing? They setting up the fixing the bed?
Yeah. Marriage chamber.
That's the marriage chamber? You need more better than that.
It's not really that big.
More better than that? Let's see. Damn. Stone is going on. What'd you put in there? What'd you put in the search? Token of virginity. Okay. All right. Oh, there it is right there. Second one, right? That's just basically what it is. Okay? Showing forth what transpired the first time she lay with a man. Okay? Right? Proof, in other words. So that proof is what he needed to present. Right? It's a sheet that have upon it the blood from the first time that she lay with a man. Okay? Go down. Down. Gotta be careful what you see on the internet. Down.
Look at that ring, say, I'll wait.
All right, this thing is going to the left. All right, don't worry about it. So Sometimes you can't trust Google, man. They go straight to the left. All right. So that's the token of Virginia that laid for. So when they proved that that they had the token, they had to give the father money. Immerse him in money, right? To as a way of apologizing for bringing up this accusation against the daughter. Okay,
Because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel,
right?
and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days.
All his days, he cannot try this one again. All right, this is it. She's gonna be his wife all his days.
But if this day be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the doors of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her with stones, that she died, because she would have wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shall thou put evil away from among you.
Right. So they pull out the sheet, and they look at the sheet, and they go, see the token. And then they examine it a little bit closer and be like, wait a minute. That's ketchup. Who are you trying to fool? Right? It's what it is. Or die or something. Right?
Like you're 619.
Who are you trying to fool? That one had to go to the city and die. Right? Because she played the role in her father's house. The father, reason why I'm saying that there was something on the sheet, because remember, the father's not aware. The father's not aware. He gave his daughter up as a virgin to this man, or so he thought. Okay? Because he would not have went to court. There would be no court case or nothing. You'd have to let that man know his daughter is not a virgin ahead of time. And if she still wanted to take her, he could still take her. But if he felt that she was a virgin, gave him the impression that she was a virgin, he may have thought she was a virgin. That doesn't mean that she's a virgin, right? That's what he thinks, right? Right?
They got it for sale. Fake hymens for sale.
No, we don't. I got you. Fake sheets
with the blood on it. Yeah.
The blood on it, right?
Yeah, for sale.
Goat's blood. Right?
Verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
So what happened there? If a woman is laying with if a married woman is laying with another man, what took place? Adultery. Right? Adultery. Give me Leviticus 20, verse 10.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife,
right?
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress.
The adulterer and the adulteress, read on.
Shall surely be put to death.
Shall surely be put to death. Meaning what? They both have committed a crime. Not just the woman. Right? Not just the woman, they both have committed a crime. Give me Matthews.
What is it? 5:27.
5:27.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time.
But you can read it. Go ahead, read it. No. Go ahead, read it.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Right. So what? If you thinking about being intimate with your brother's wife, you have committed adultery already in your heart. All right. So we not even to have that thought of laying with your brother's wife. All right. So the action is far from us. You meet John the 8th chapter, St. John 8.
The book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 1. Yahushua went unto the Mount of Olives,
Right?
early in the morning. He came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery.
Right?
And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act.
Right, in the very act. So now, what you just learned about adultery, according to the law, who's missing?
Man.
The man is missing. How could you bring the woman caught in adultery in the very act and there's no man here? Right? So this judgment already is off. Okay? You see who brought him there, right? The Pharisees. They're supposed to know the law of the Most High. So they knew what they were doing was incorrect, but they were trying to always trip up Yahushua. Right? Read on.
Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou?
Right. So they tried to treat him like he was coming against the law of Moses. If Moses says she should be put to death, well, what sayest thou? Right? Right? Trying to trip him up. All right? We just read in the law of Moses that who's supposed to be put to death? Both. They only brought the woman. So the judgment is already off. Right? We know.
This they said, tempting him.
Doing what?
Tempting him.
Tempting him, seeing if he's going to put the woman to death. Because why? Yahushua has been going around doing what? Healing people.
Right.
Giving them life. So they said, this man ain't going to put nobody to death. He's been going around healing people. We're going to see what he's going to do now. Right? Read.
That they might have to accuse him.
Right?
But Yahushua stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground. Hast thou he heard them not? As though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted it up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
Right?
And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest even unto the last. And Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst.
Right.
When Yahushua had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, out of one. And Yahushua said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee.
Right.
Go and sin no more.
Go and do what?
And sin no more.
So we told her, go and sin no more. Meaning that what? She was what? She was guilty of this adultery, but the judgment by the hands of man was perverted. Right? Was perverse. Right? Their judgment was incorrect. Right? They're trying to put the woman on trial and judge the woman, and they what? Where the man at? So he said, anybody here, anybody without sin, cast the first stone. Meaning that what? You guys are wicked, man. How are you gonna bring judgment on this woman and you wicked? You're not even right in the way you judging the woman. Okay. So he told her what? Repent. That's what sin no more means, right? He told her repent and don't be committing adultery anymore. In case maybe. Okay. So what we learning here? Yes, the law says what? They should be put to death. But what we are here to give our people life, not death. We're already dead. We're here to give life. So we go to our people, we learn these laws to know what? Right from wrong, that we might repent. Okay. So if you have laid with a married woman, or if you're a married woman that laid with a man, sin no more. Okay? Sin no more. Because you can't continue in the sin and get forgiveness. In order to get forgiveness, you have to repent. You have to cease from that sin in order to be forgiven for it. Everybody understand that? If you continue in it, you will not be forgiven for it. Okay? So we take that lesson, or we take that instruction to go and sin no more. Whatever sin that you're caught in. All right? Let's go back.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and you shall stone them with stones that they die.
So what does that mean? She didn't lie with the man yet, but she was betrothed. What does betrothed mean?
Promise.
She was promised, or you look at it as engaged, to be this man's wife. So she already was already settled upon by her father and this man that she will be this man's wife. So if a man come and steal her ahead of time, right? Like they used to do in the olden days, that the nobles did not let the peasant people have virgins for wives. They would take the woman and sleep with the woman first, and then you could marry her. Okay, this is old. What time period is that? That would be that's not America yet. That's over in Europe. It's old European rulership. And they're European. Caesars. I don't think as far as Rome. I think it's European.
They did it in that movie.
Is Rome too? Okay, must have come from Roman times.
They did it in that movie.
They did that movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it does go back to Roman roots. That the Romans would sleep with the woman. If you're a peasant, if you're a royalty, then you can have a virgin wife. But if you're just a regular person, right? The woman would first have to sleep with a noble, and then you could take it away. Right? Hey man, these are things that we had to suffer. All right, these things that we had to suffer being in the hands of the so-called white man. Right? Read.
The damsel, because she cried not,
right,
being in the city.
Right.
And the man, because he has humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you.
Right.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, if a man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die.
So what do we call that? Rape. Because he forced her. You cannot force a woman to lay with you. Huh? That's rape. Today they have date rape, drugs, and all that kind of stuff. They try to have ways to force the woman. There's more than one way to force a woman. There's forcing her physically, then what? It's drugging her, right? And forcing her that way that she's unaware of her surroundings. So you have people doing date rape, drugs, and all that kind of stuff. The woman is not held responsible in this account. That man is held responsible. Everybody understand that? That's rape. Rape is not permissible by the Most High. Right. Man forced a woman, he said that's considered murder in the eyes of the Most High. Like you killed her. You get the same punishment as if you killed her, which is what? Death. Okay? Read on.
Verse 26. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death.
Right.
Whereas when a man rises against his neighbor and slays him, even so is this matter.
Right? Just like if he killed somebody. Right? The same, punishment you get for killing somebody, the same punishment you get for raping somebody. Right? Read.
But he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her.
Right.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
Right, so now this is what? A willing participant. Okay? He lay hold on her. They lay together. Okay? They be found. You know, people say, hey, are y'all together now? Yo, you gotta go to the Father. Where's your papers? Right? If you didn't get your papers, and somebody say, well, I didn't get my papers. Go get your papers then. Okay? You're supposed to get it beforehand, but if you didn't get it before, get it afterwards. You lay with the woman, you gotta have permission from that father to be with that daughter. At some point in time, you gotta go get that paper. Read her.
And she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her.
Right?
He may not put her away all his days.
Mm-hmm.
A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt.
Right. That's it on that? All right, so we're not going to start the next chapter here. We're going to take a break. So at this time, we're going to take a break. Then we'll pick it up with chapter 23 after the break. We'll take about a half an hour break, stretch your legs, get something to eat, and we'll pick it up at chapter 23. Okay? Hallelujah.